Hey guys, what's going on? We're back here with another video, and this video is going to be about putting new headlights on a golf cart. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to replace these old lights. As you can see, brackets have rusted completely off and they're clouded up, they don't work. I've gone ahead and removed the brackets already, and we're going to be replacing them with some super bright, they're basically mini LED light bars here. And those are going to be much brighter and last much longer than these cheap LEDs that were on here before. And we're also going to be repairing the backlights and adding some red strip lighting. This is just 12 volt LED strip lighting to the back for brake lights as well. So the first thing I want to do is go ahead and remove these two lights we've got here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to reuse these two switches on the dash here. So this is going to be on for the headlights. That's going to turn the headlights and the regular taillights on. And then this switch up here, on and off like that, is going to turn the strip lighting on that we got there. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and remove these two headlights right here. So I've actually gotten these headlights to turn on somehow, but as you can see, they're still, that one's working okay. This one's all screwed up and none of the brackets are gone, so we're still going to replace those. But I've gone ahead and gotten our two taillights to work. So those we're going to be reusing, and then adding strip lighting. LED strip lighting is going to replace this old lighting that went around the back. And that's going to be on a second switch. So I've got the front headlights off. They're sitting right there. But what I'm going to do before I put the new ones on is we've got, I don't know if you can see, a whole mess of wiring there. So I'm basically going to strip all that out of there and redo it all. So now I've gone ahead and taken out all the wiring. As you can see, the previous person who does this wiring ran it through this tubing here. And I actually like that. I think it keeps the wires more protected. So I'm going to actually reuse that and try to reuse the wires in it. Just clean it up. They had used a whole bunch of these, you can see they're little wire nuts, which I personally don't like for this kind of stuff, just because it's out in weather and rain and all that. So I'm going to be replacing them with, these are called heat shrinks. So you crimp them on each end and then you use a heat gun like this to shrink it down. But if you don't have heat shrink connectors, what you can do is take a regular connector like this and slide a piece of heat shrink tubing over it. So as you can see, I've run the wires. These are the wires right here, are coming up from the very back of the cart. So that's going to go to that light there, and then we've got the wire just coming up through the back right here. So this is just coming up from down there. We're going to take off, these are old lights. So this is the wire that's going to come around for the strip lighting. Strip lighting is going to run around the edge of this by the time we're done. So next thing I'm going to do is take the two grounds from the back, and I've crimped them into one connector. That connector is going to go on this negative terminal right here. The two positives are going to run in, connect to the wires in that tubing, and run up to the switch on the dash, which I have removed and taken all the wires off the back of the switch, which is right here. So I'll be right back. So I've gotten, this is the tube that I showed you before. It's laying down there. It's running up now. These are all the wires that are going to connect to the batteries and go to the backlights, which are running here. I've attached that ground here to the negative on the battery. I'll show you underneath how that tube runs. So it goes, you can see it right there, runs over, goes around that way, and then it goes and cuts across. You can see it up there. Runs up there, and then it comes out. You can see that. Comes out right behind the dash up here. All the wires that are going to connect to our switches and go to our front lights. So the next step is going to be, I'm going to clean that off a little bit on each side and mount our shiny new headlights. So I've gone ahead and drilled the two holes to mount these lights. I've got this one mounted. The only problem I ran into is these brackets on here. are supposed to be flipped, so they're going out on this side over here. And I didn't have room for them because they would have hit. They could have gotten in the way, so I flipped them. But because I flipped them, I don't know if you can see it there, that bolt head was touching. I had to take a grinder and just grind off one side of each of them so that this light would sit in here and angle the way I wanted. So that's going to bolt in there like that. This wire will tuck down in there tighter once I bolt it on. But basically it's going to have two lights just like that. So now all I've got to do is mount those ones, grind the bolts, and that one should be on 2. Then I'll move on to wiring. So now I've gone ahead, got both lights mounted completely. Wires are tucked in, little holes back there. They cover up all the old holes that were there. And next thing we got to do is go underneath the fenders and do all of the wiring on those. So the front lights are now wired up. I've wired all behind this, so actually it's going to be, first this is a switch goes out 2 clicks, so the first click right there is just going to turn on the front lights and the regular tail lights, and then if I go out the next click, it's going to have front lights, tail lights, and the LED strip on the back. So now the next thing I got to do is just take all these wires and hook them up where they're going to go to the batteries and to these wires for the backlights, and I should be done. I just got to add the strips after that on the back. So I've gone ahead and finished all the wiring up here. As you can see, it comes out of the tube. Positive goes here, negative goes to here. And on these carts, this is a 36 volt cart, so each battery is 6 volts. So you use 2 of the batteries, so the negatives all come off of this post. Positives come off of this post over here, go through a little 10 amp fuse there. That'll run up to the switch, and then the positives for the backlights run back and go down and under there to the back of the cart. So now if I pull this switch out 1 click, you'll see headlights turn on. These lights are very bright, which is what I was looking for. That's nice. And now the 2 tail lights come on. And if I pull it out the next click, it's going to energize this wire here, which will go to the lights that I'm going to put on in a minute. So now I've gone ahead, turned the golf cart around. I'm going to remove the old lights going around the bottom there and replace them with these new LED strip lights here. So I've gone ahead, finished this wiring, connected those up, and I've run the lights along the bottom here. I think they look pretty good. I like how the black on the back of the lights kind of blends in from a distance. And I've used the adhesive on the back to attach it, but I've also every couple of inches put a little zip tie attaching it, because I find that over time the adhesive just kind of falls off, so that should keep that on for a long time. And so now, if I go up here, pull the switch, 1 click, regular lights come on, pull it out the 2nd click, lights stay on, but also those come on. So I think that looks pretty good. I'll pull the cart out here in a second and give you a shot of it in the complete dark. So guys, this is what the new headlights look like on the golf cart. As you can see, they are extremely bright compared to the old ones. These are like way brighter than the old ones. They look good on the front there. They're not going anywhere. All that wiring's fixed. As you can see, the old taillights are working, and we have the new added LED strip across the bottom, which I personally think looks great on there. Just a cool little addition that most people don't have on their carts. And yeah, so that's how to install some 6-inch mini light bars on the front of a golf cart. Those cost about $12 a piece, and the strip of lights on the back was about $10 for a whole roll. So as always guys, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to give a like if you liked the video, and as always, I'll see you next time.